Okay, now today we are going to look at a crash course. We have a crash course on Visual Basic. Welcome to our first tutorial of Visual Basic. So we are going to go through some of the basics today. Okay, so I've come up with this crash course to just guide you on what you need to know about Visual Basic programming. Okay, I believe it could be the first time you have heard of it, and of course if you go to some places you realize that some people are still using it today. Of course I can't easily tell where exactly, but if you go to some institutes you'll find that they are still teaching students Visual Basic and how it operates. Now putting that aside, mainly this video is going to just involve the practical bit. There's nothing like theory. The theoretical part, you need to have access to the reading materials, and then you see what I've done. And of course I'm not going to mention everything, but I believe what we have been covering in class is what I'm going to cover only, based on what I've only covered, for those who have not been able to attend in time or those who have not been getting the concepts properly. So basically the version I'm going to use is an old version of 2008, simply because why I'm using it is first of all, the good thing with it is that it doesn't cover a lot of storage space, and then the second thing is that the computers that are being used are not up to date at school. Okay, and they can't allow you to use the latest version of Visual Basic, but nevertheless we shall find the same materials that we need to use and we shall cover what we are supposed to cover. So basically let us begin. Now we have the software here. Looking for it. If you're looking for it, you have to type there Microsoft Visual Basic. Okay, so we have it here. I think you can see it on the screen. So this is the edition we are using, 2008 Express edition. You open it. Okay, yeah, now after opening it, here as you can see we have the previous files that I've been working with. Okay, yeah, but if you're starting the project, starting for the first time, we need to know how everything operates. So for first time users, we need to start off with something very simple and something that can help us learn along the way. Now what we are going to do, we are going to start off right away with the practical bit, and we need to look at how we work with controls in Visual Basic. Okay, so this is where we need to follow. Now we need to create our file, our project. You go ahead and click on create project here, then this will pop up on your screen. Now rename your project. Now since we are working with the controls for the first time, we shall call this file name working with controls. Okay, working with the controls, and then you click OK. Then you wait. So basically this is our environment that we are going to interact with. Okay, and as soon as you click OK, it's going to show us an interface here on the screen. So we have the form interface here. Okay, we are going to interact with it. As you can see, this is our environment. So we have the interface here, and then you can even stretch it a bit if you want. Okay, now what we are basically going to use, or what we need the toolbox. On the left side you will find your toolbox here. If you're not seeing your toolbox on the left side, you can just simply come to the Windows tab, sorry, not Windows tab, go to the View tab. Okay, then go down and click on what? Toolbox. When you click on toolbox, it will pop up on the screen. If not, you just come and look for this icon that has a hammer and a screw, and then you click on it. It will still bring this on the screen. So you have two options. Either you go here, you click on toolbox, or this icon that you see here. Okay, now we have our interface. We need to start interacting with it. So go to the toolbox here. Let us get the label. We have to look for a label here, place it there. So we have our label here. Then we also need the text box. We also need the text box. You place it here as well. Okay, so we have these items. Then go to the properties. Now the properties section here, if you're not seeing it on your screen, once again go to the view tab and then click properties, and then it will appear on your screen. Okay, so you come here, properties. We want to rename our label. Okay, now to rename your label, go to the text area here. Let us now call it name. Okay, name, and that is enough. Okay, then if you want to increase the size of your font, you click font here, then you click bold, you increase the size. That is if you want. Okay, this one is optional. If you want to increase it, the choice is yours. Press OK, so it has increased the size. Okay, that is optional. Now we have also our text box. We have our text box. Okay, now before we work with the text box, we need also another item from the toolbox. We need the button. Okay, so we have our button here, and we are going to double click on the button here. Okay, then we need to write our code. Okay, so it will bring this on the screen. Now let us type this. Let us type message box. Now before even you finish typing, it is there. Press tab, message box dot show. Okay, then you open brackets. Okay, double quotation marks, hello world. Okay, now here we are testing the system to see whether it's functioning as expected. So we shall say hello world. You may put there an exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Okay, then you close the brackets. Okay, now make sure you save and then you run. You see how it operates. Now to run, you click on this icon here, start debug. You click on it, when you click on it, we have our interface here. Okay, so let us click this button. As you can see, it has brought the hello world message here. You click the button like this, it brings the hello world what message. So you press OK. So this is the first time we have now interacted with our system. Okay, and it will bring that on the screen. Now we need to look at something else. Okay, now we need to know how to rename the form, because it's also very important. To rename the form, click on your interface here, go to properties. Okay, then you may call it my form if you wish. Okay, my form, click OK. So you can see now it has renamed it. Okay, that is how you can rename a form. Then if you want to change the color of the interface here, okay, you look for back color in your menu. Okay, look for back color here in your properties window. Look for back color here. So let me scroll. Yes, here it is. Okay, now for back color, you can change the appearance of your interface. When I click this, you'll see the interface color has changed. Okay, if you click gray, this is the color it will have. Okay, yeah, so yeah, that is how you can change the color. Yeah, so let us look at something else. You can also after renaming the form, let's look at something else. Maybe now resizing this, because you may want to resize the length of your label. You click on label, go to properties, look for auto size, look for auto size here. Okay, you click on it, then select false. When you select false, it will increase. So So you can increase the size, as you can see, okay, of the label. Okay, so you are able to resize the label, and then you have something there. Okay, yeah, so that's how you can resize your label. Now there's something I think I did mention in class, but it's also important. We have alignment. You can align the text. If you want this to be at the center, you can align that. Okay, yeah, you come here, you click this. Right now it is selected going to left align. You can click center here, your name will come exactly at the center. Then we also have it going to the right. Okay, so this is something I did mention. Okay, so it is also important as well, depending on how you want to design your interface. Okay, this one helps you in case you don't want to make random movements with your text. Okay, for example, you don't want it to move like this, like this, like this. You are controlling like that. You want it to station in one place. So this comes in handy. It gives you what I can say a lift or help. Now we need to know how to work with the list box. We're done with looking at this. Let me put them here. Okay, now the list box, we need to know how it works. Where is it? List box. Yeah, we have it here. Now I'll put it here, the list box. We are going to put some items in the list box. Now go to the properties menu here, look for items here, click on this, then you can type whatever items you want. I may say ball, I may say boy, and I may say man. Okay, just something simple. Okay, I press OK. We have our information there. Okay, yeah, so now of course right now there's no use of it right now here. Okay, so we need to have a functionality for this. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I think these ones will be, let them be here. Then maybe I'm going to change this button be down here. Then let me carry this text box here. But text box, I think we need it. So the name will go here. Text box will come here. Don't mind about this. Okay, we are now looking at something new, the list box. So I need this text box, let it be here at the top. We need to have buttons that are working. Okay, yeah, I think I need this button as well. I'll place it here. Yeah, don't mind about this one, leave it. This one, leave it as it is. Maybe I can give it a name that is connected to what we are talking about today. Okay, working with the list box. May have something like that. Yeah, I think this makes it look more nice and more appealing for people who are following. Okay, yeah, so let me arrange this, working with the list box. So we have our button here. So we need 2 more buttons. So I'm going to copy this. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need like 5 more buttons. So I'll press Ctrl V, Ctrl V. Yeah, I think these are enough. So we have to set them up properly. Okay. Yeah. Now the buttons, the order does not matter. Okay. Maybe the arrangement matters, but yeah, I think this will work. Then we can have something like that. Yeah, I think this is nice. And yeah, so let us now rename our buttons. So to rename buttons, go to properties once again, and then you go to text here. So call this add item. Okay, add item. Then we have show item. And then we have show index. Then we have get count. Then we have remove item. Okay, then we have also remove index. Okay, so we are going to work with all these buttons, and we need to know how to embed the functionality in each one of them. So of course we are going to start off with the first button. Okay, let us move this command because we no longer need it. Now we are going to operate using an if statement. I believe you haven't yet looked at if statements, okay, but you'll bear with me for now. When we start looking at if statements, then you go back to this video. It will make a lot of sense. Okay, it will make a lot of sense, so bear with me for now. If, so I'll say if. Okay, we have our command, so we shall say if. Now this part that has true, remove it. Now we are going to put there if text box 1. Remember, we have double clicked and we are concentrating with text box 1. Where is text box 1? I want to show it to you. So you can even see in our list we have text box 1 here. Okay, we'll say dot what, dot text. Okay, then you add length dot, we have dot length. Okay, dot length is greater than, sorry about that, is greater than 0. Okay, then you close brackets and then you type your then. Maybe I moved the then, it's supposed to be there. Yeah, now this text box here, first of all, text box 1, how do I know it's text box 1? If you look at this text box here and you go to the properties menu, that is how it's called, text box what, 1. Okay, it's called text box 1. If you happen to change the name of this text box, that would mean you have to also change the name of your what, of your text box here. Okay, yeah, so if you change it to something like txt1, then you will have to type here txt1 as well. Okay, otherwise it will throw for you an error. So then we also have list box. So list box 1. Okay, list box 1, I'll show it to you in a moment. Dot items dot items. So we have here items. Then we shall say dot what, go back, dot add. Okay, I don't know what's going on, dot add. Then we shall say add what, text box 1, text box 1. So you said dot text. Then finally we have to go down, so shall finally say text box 1. Okay, dot clear. So this box, this is the list box 1 that we have. Okay, if you go to your properties menu again, you'll see it's called list box 1 here. So if you change the name of a list box, that would mean you'll also need to change the name of your what, your source code here as well. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Now when I run my command, you save and run. Okay, save and run. Now let us try to put more information into this that we already have here. Let us just save in the word hello, just hello, just hello. Click add item, it will add the item there. Okay, and if you type anything funny, you click add, it will go with that. Now the rest of the commands don't work because we need to input in their how they operate. Okay, yeah, so you'll close that, then we go back to our interface. Okay, so let us move on to the next item. Yeah, so I think of course we are not going to follow the order. Let me go to get count. Okay, now the order does not matter. Okay, now this one we shall type something very simple. Shall say message box dot show. Okay, open brackets, then we shall say list box 1 dot text, sorry, dot items, not dot text, dot items. You can see they are coming. Dot dot count. Okay, yeah, so you'll save this. After saving this, you'll run so that it's counting. Now when it's counting, it's going to count how many items are here. Okay, first of all there are 3, so when I click get count, it will say 3 there are 3 items. Okay, if I add something else, you'll see what will happen. Add item, I click get count, it will count 4. Okay, each time the number keeps on increasing, it keeps on increasing the count rate. If I add something funny again here, click add item, I click get count, it will again add, and then, okay, are you seeing this? Yeah, 5. So that is the get count, and that's how it operates. Now I think to make things move faster, I'm going to first type everything and then we execute the entire system. Okay, so let us go to show item, double click show item. Okay, so you also have to input in the code of that. So of course the first one is the same. I'll still say message box dot show, then open brackets, you close. We have to input in there some information. Okay, then of course we are going to still say of course I'm going to copy this again, this box 1, because it's the same thing. This box 1 dot so I'll say dot anyway, let me move this dot. Let me say dot, because we need to have dot selected item, selected item dot to string. So you open and close again. We need to have another bracket here. Yeah, press save. We have that. We shall run it later on. It shows the number, it shows the item. Okay, I'll explain that. Let me just run it. There's nothing I'll lose. Yeah, so I click this, it will show the item that you have selected. Okay, so that's how it operates. Then we have on our interface, look at something else. We have the show index. Okay, show index, we double click on it. Then of course once again we are going to type we are going to say, I think this will work, copy everything here, and then we shall say let me move this dot selected index. So this time around we are selecting this. Okay, and we save. Now in programming, more especially in Visual Basic, you realize that when I talk about index here, the counting will change. Okay, now normal counting, this one will start with a 0, isn't it? So it will start with 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 items. Now for index, counting starts with a 0. Okay, so we will say this is 0, 1, 2. Now I click show index, it will say what? 0. If I click boy, it will show what? 1. Click man, it will show what? 2. So that's how index works. Okay, yeah. Then we have remove item, double click on that. We need to write the source code as well. Okay, yeah, so this one maybe it's going to be way different from what we have been doing. So we shall say list box, okay, then dot items, okay, dot, we need to dot remove. I think I'm going to just copy this. Yeah, it's almost the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to say selected item here. Yeah, here it is, selected item. So just simply save and then you run your command. Now this one will help remove the items. You click here, you click move item to remove it. You move this one here, it removes it. Okay, so basically that's what it does. And then let us finalize with remove index. Now remove index is the same as remove item. The only difference is that the keyword index is way different from the other. Okay, so what we are only going to change is this. I'll just copy the entire code here, I'll paste it here, then we make the necessary what changes. Now remove index, for it we shall say remove at. Okay, then we shall have selected what index, selected index. So instead of selected what items, so you save that and then you run. Now it does, or it performs the same functionality as the remove item. It does the same thing. There's no difference. The only difference is just the keyword index, and that is all. Okay, yeah, so basically that's how you work with the controls, and I hope that has been insightful on your side. Okay, yeah, now we need to work with what we call variables. Okay, now variables are containers that store data. Okay, the containers that store data. Now what we are going to do, we are going to have, thinking of a way of how I'm going to change my interface. Okay, the interface. Okay, so let me first change the topic name here to variables, isn't it? Since we are now working with variables, so I'll call these variables, and we have said the containers that what, that store data. Okay, yeah, so let me align this at the center, people to see. Yes, so we're looking at variables, and we are going to make changes to this code here. Now this button, I think, let me change the name to let me just call it again, let me just call it click. Okay, let me just call it click, and then I'm going to double click on it. Okay, now I'm going to remove this source code because we are now working with variables. Okay, now for variables here, we are going to first assign a variable. Okay, we need to know how to assign a variable in Visual Basic. Now to assign a variable in Visual Basic, we start off by declaring it. Okay, now declaring, this is how you write the syntax of declaring a variable in Visual Basic. So you'll say dim. Okay, you'll say dim. Then now for variables, you can have anything, any name as a variable. Okay, so you may say variable, my variable is m, or you may even just say variables what message. Variable, a variable name can be anything that you want. It could be book, okay, it could be girl, it could be boy, it could be computer, name it. Okay, so I'll say dim message as, this is the variable name. Okay, as what. Now variables, of course, we have different data types as well. I forgot to talk about that. Now for data types, we have those that support characters, sorry, strings, text, and then we also have that support numeric what characters. So for alphabet characters, normally use string data types. And then for numeric characters, we normally use the integer. We use we have whole. Okay, we have integer. We have I think there is also long. I'm not very sure, I don't remember, but I think you have got the whole point. Okay, so I'll say string. That's our string data type, supporting our string variable name. Sorry, so we need to now assign the variable name. Okay, otherwise we shall have an error. So we can assign like this. Okay, so we may say this is a string. Okay, we could have that. Now we need to declare another variable. Okay, we need to declare another one. Now declare another one. We shall say dim. Okay, now of course the variable name, you can come up with any name. Now mine, I'll call it int. Okay, int. As you can see when this pops up on the screen before you finish typing, as what? Now this is going to be a numeric character. We shall say as integer. Okay, then you declare a variable name is equal to 25. So I've just come up with this number, or 24. You save. Okay, after saving, you come down here where the button area is. Okay, and then you type message box. I think I'm going to just copy this. Okay, now remember I've said variables are containers that what, that store data. So I'm copying this, I'm pasting that. Hold on. Okay, variables are containers that store data. So I'll come copy that, and then I'll paste that there. Okay, then we need to change this variable. We need to put in our brackets here the variable names. So we have this one, int. So you want to just copy and paste this. Okay, and then you'll see how it works. Okay, so we have just put here the message. So we have to save. So Ctrl S, save that. Then let us run and execute our variable. So click the button that has on click. Okay, you click on it, it brings what? 24. Okay, so we have replaced the number 24 with what? Its variable name. The same goes to this one here, message. Okay, so we expect it to display for us this message. This is a string, but then in actual sense we have to attach or place here what? Our variable name. So you save and then you run. Okay, then let's click here, click. This is a string. Okay, so basically those are variables, and that is how you work on them. Okay, that is how you work on them. Yeah, anyway, putting that aside, we also have what we call constants. Okay, we have what we call constants. Now for constants, let me change this to follow. So let us look at now constants. Okay, now constants of course resemble variables. Okay, but for constants they remain normally the same. They remain the same. So I'm double clicking this, and then we shall maybe change. We shall call this. We shall say. I think let me keep the string variable. Let me just go down. Okay, then let me type dim. We have it there as okay. Sorry, constants normally don't start with a dim. Okay, so we shall start with the word private. Okay, private. So what comes next? Const. You declare your, make sure your system knows this is a constant. You mention the constant name. I may call this hey as my constant name. Okay, as double. Okay, yeah, we have a data type called double as well. Okay, now this one depends on the storage capacity. That's why we have different data types. Okay, storage capacity is very, very important. Okay, yeah, so I may say 0. Let's just use a number with decimal 0.7, and then we save that. We run and we see what happens. So click save that. Oh, wait, it's not going to run. Okay, it's not going to run. Why? We didn't place here our constant name. Okay, we have to do this. I want to copy that, and then I paste it here. Okay, so we save this, we run. So I click this, it will bring 0.7. Okay, that's how you manage constants. Okay, now of course we also have what we call arrays. Okay, now arrays, of course, these are now like variables. Okay, they are like variables, but for them the only difference is that normally arrays help you to make a list. Okay, you are going to see that in a moment. Yeah, so let us go back to our interface here. We now look at something new, and we are calling it arrays. Okay, let me change the name of the button for people to follow. Anyway, I'll leave it as click, no worries. Okay, double click that. So now what we are going to do, we're going to make some changes here. Move this, and then the message box will remain there. Okay, leave it there. We want to add some more content above. Okay, now for arrays, of course, we need to first declare our variable. Okay, so we shall say dim. So dim, let us say names, call it names, our variable name. Now we are going to have 4 items, so I will say 4. Okay, so we shall say as what? As string, since they are going to be in text format. Okay, a string. Now of course we are going to type the names here. We are going to say names. Okay, names we have already declared this. Then put the 0 is equal to mark. So you put the names that you want. Okay, just to give a sample. Yeah, so I'm going to copy this and I paste down to avoid wasting time. This is the first way to finish up with work. So you paste. So you need to have 4 of them. Okay. Yeah, so this one we shall change it to a 1. Then this one to change to a 2. Then we have, we need a 3. And a 4. So we shall say names. Okay, so I think we are done with that. So you just save, you'll see how everything runs. Okay, sorry, we have to change the names of the individuals as well. Now let's assume this is Peter, but I'll put the P to avoid wasting time. Let's assume this name is X. Okay, let us assume this is B, then John to represent J. Okay, now here I'm using letters because of time. Okay, yeah, for you may type the full names of different people that you know and you run. Yeah, so we have our array. You click, we have mark. Okay, then you click again, click, you will say again mark. Now why it's saying mark throughout is because of the number. Okay, so you have to change the position. You may put there like 4. You save, you run. I think that now, so now we have the J there. We have the J. Why do we have the J? Because this is the 4th in what position. So that's how arrays work. So nothing much there. Okay, so we have what we call also operators, arithmetic operators. Okay, so for arithmetic operators, of course, you have heard of the math, multiplication, addition, subtraction. Okay, yeah, so basically it's what we are going to look at. And yeah, it's what we are going to look at. Yes, we are going to look at that, arithmetic operators. Yeah, so allow me to first stop from here, and I'll see you, we shall proceed with where we shall have stopped. Okay, now we are going to look at arithmetic operators. So let us try to create an interface for our operators here. So what we are going to do, I think I don't need this anymore, so I'll make this small. I think just carry them. Anyway, let them remain there. We are mainly looking at arithmetic operators, isn't it? So don't mind about what is down here. Let me change this to arithmetic operators. Okay, so that is our next subheading. Now with arithmetic operators, I think you have heard of the addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. Okay, so we are going to do the same thing with in Visual Basic. Okay, yeah, maybe what we are going to do, why don't I get rid of these controls that are here? Yeah, let me just get rid of them, and them occupying out of space. Okay, yeah, but I think we shall need the remaining buttons, because we need like 4 buttons. Yeah, so I believe we shall need them back. Yeah, I'll need them back. So what I'm going to do, let's go back here like this. Yes, so I'll need this one. Let me change this to what? To add, the add button. Then this one, let me change it to subtraction. Okay, I'll just call it sub because of time. Subtraction. Then multiplication, I'll just say mul because of time. Multiplication. And then finally we have division. Okay, we have division. So we have this. Now this one, maybe I'll get rid of this one here with this box. So maybe when this one I'll remove it. Okay, so we have these buttons here, so I'll leave it for emergency purposes. Okay, so we need to have 3 text box. I think, yeah, text box. Yeah, so we have 3 of them. So we have one here, we have the other one here, then we have the last one down here. Then the buttons, I think we shall try to arrange them. Now the order does not matter. Okay, yeah. Now we have our text box areas. We need to have labels as well. Okay, so we need labels. So I need like 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I need like 3 labels. We have this one here, we have this one as well. Okay, now we are going to label them, these 3 labels. Now we got the very first one. Let's call this one enter first name. Enter first number. Okay, let me try to arrange them. I think that is enough, but let me put at the center. Yes, then we have enter second name. intersecond number. Okay, now for the intersecond number, of course, depends on how you arrange that. The choice is yours. Then finally we need to have what we call the result. We need to have what we call the result. Okay, result. Yeah, so yes, now we have this. Ignore this button here. So now we have to start off with the add button. Okay, so I'll double click this. Now I'm seeing most of the functionalities here are not going to work because we have played around with them, which is fine. I'm going to first remove this one here. Now this is for the add button. These are the controls we have to input. Okay, now if you look at our text box here, okay, the first one is text box 1, then we have text box 2, and then finally we have text box 3. Okay, text box 3 is where we shall have our final results displayed. Now let us type, just say text box. So we start off with text box 3 where we shall have our final result. Okay, where we shall have our final result being displayed. Then we shall say equals to, shall say val. Okay, so then we open brackets and then we say text box 1, text box 1 dot text. Okay, then you close the brackets, and then of course we shall say plus. Now plus what? Again we shall say val, open brackets, text box 2, okay, dot text, close the brackets. We save that. Now I believe why we are having errors here, it's simply because we have these ones. Okay, so let me first remove them and then we proceed. Yeah, because we removed the list box and we don't need them anymore, but the buttons are still there regardless. So I'll save. Okay, so I'm seeing again errors still there. What could be the problem? Okay, I think I've seen a problem. When I say text box 3, I didn't say dot text. Okay, so it's supposed to be dot text. Save that, then we shall have everything running. So of course this is for addition, so I'll run this. Then we enter the result. So I'll say 23, and then I may say 34, add. So we have the result what? 57. If I change this to 7, you add, it will come to what? To 30. The rest don't work because we haven't yet worked on their what? Functionality. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are going to go back to our buttons, double click on the sub button. Okay, and then we are going to just copy and paste the exact source code that is here, paste it the next button. Okay, now that has minus, so we just move the symbol and it's done. Then we do the same thing with the rest. Okay, multiplication, shall just simply do this and then we put there the what? Multiplication symbol. Okay, then we save that, and then finally we have the division what? Symbol. Now for it we shall also do like this, but then we shall change the what? The symbol to dividing, and we are done. So try to debug your project, your interface, and then we see the result. So I may put this value, then I replace this one as well. We add, we have this result. Now if we are subtracting, I may click sub, we get 20. Now if you are dividing, you could have let me change this to 290, multiply, anyway, multiply this, so we have this. Now if I get this figure, I try to divide it by 2. Okay, yeah, so we shall have these results as well. So when you multiply, you shall have this. If you subtract, you shall have this. If you add, you shall have this. You divide. Okay, so that is how the arithmetic operators are used. And of course, this could even be like a simple what? Calculator. Okay, yeah, so what we are going to do, we are going to proceed. I think we are done with the arithmetic operators. Okay, and let us look at the if statements. Let us look at what? At if statements. So once again, I'll go to my properties menu here, change this to if statements. Okay, now for the if statements here, we don't need all this functionality here, as you are seeing. So I'm going to remove all these buttons. I'm getting rid of them. Okay, then maybe I'll need one button here. Let me call it if statement, but I think let me leave it as click. That is better since we have the heading here. Then we also need one text box area. I think the rest I'll have to get rid of them. Yeah, I think this is enough. Yeah, so now for the if statements, we all know they are like they are conditional what statements. If this doesn't happen, this will happen. Okay, yeah, so what we are going to do, we shall go to our button here, double click, where we shall place our code. Okay, now of course let me try to first get rid of this. We shall have errors because you remove those text box areas. Now to avoid the errors, we have to remove everything from here. So let us go back. We find out where we were supposed to be. Okay, around here, it's fine. So we have our if statement. We won't type. So we shall start off with the syntax. Okay, so we shall say if. Okay, so of course we have text box 1. Text box 1. How can you tell this is text box 1? You check through the properties section and then you scroll down. You will see it's labeled what? Text box 1. Okay, so now here we shall type the name of the text box 1. Okay, so we shall say dot text. So we shall say is equal to what? Equal to 1. Now we have the label. We need to know the name of the label. This one here. Let us confirm which label it is. This is label 4. Okay, be very careful. Sometimes you may find it as label 1, label 2, label 3, label 4. That's why I've gone through these properties to see the name of the what? Label. Okay, so for you could be having it as label 1, label 2, label 3. So depending on the name of your label here, this is how you're going to write your code. Okay, now here it will be label 4. For you guys, if yours is label 1, you will type there label 1 dot text. Okay, otherwise it will throw for you an error because that's not the right label that you have. So we shall say equals then message 1. Okay, so here we are trying to tell the system that if text box is equal to 1 at any one moment, display message which is saying what? 1. Okay, now I think we want copy and paste. Yeah, it's my favorite part, copying and pasting. Okay, now I'm going to copy and paste into it I think twice. Yeah. So text box 1 is the same text box. Change this to 2. Change this to 2 again. Then may change this to 3. Then also this one, change it to what? To 3 as well. Now for all if statements, of course we have it's a conditional statement. If this doesn't happen, then you have to have plan B. So to conclude this if statement, we shall say and no, we shall say else. Okay, else if. Okay, text box 1 dot text is greater than or equal to 4, then what? I think remove this one here because we are having an error there. Yeah, and if yes, continue. So we have label 4, and then dot text is equal to error message. Now, why the error is showing there, we haven't ended our if statement with the end if functionality. So I'll place it there, save. So you see the error is gone. So we run our if statement here. So I type there 1, you click message 1. Yes, that is what I wanted it to display. Okay, now if you type 2 to display what? Message 2. Hope you are seeing that. Okay, now this time round we haven't used the message box. If you have noticed it, we have used the labels to produce the what? The message. Okay, so this is fine. Now what if I have 3, message 3? Okay, what if I make it 6, error message? Now why it's saying error message? Remember, we have programmed it that if at all it is from greater than or equal to 4, that means you just display the word error message. Okay, yeah, if you go back to 2 to display the 2 here, so it has a limit because of our what? Functionality here. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Okay, now let us look at how you can use an if statement to grade students. Okay, because you can use it to grade students. You have been in schools whereby they are grading your marks. If you score 80, that is a A. If you score 50, that is a, I think that is a E. Okay, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so if you score of course below 40, you have F. Okay, yeah, so what we are going to do, our interface, I think there's nothing much I'm going to change with it. Maybe I'll change the name of the button for people to follow along. Okay, so maybe the button I'll call it grade. Let me just call it grade. Okay, we are going to grade our, so I'm going to change this label to enter your mark. Okay, enter your mark, and then we are going to now double click, and then we input in the what? The information that is required. Okay, now of course we are back to this. Wait a minute. Yeah, we're back to this, and I'm going to get rid of this. Yeah, start all over again. Now we are going to first define our variables. Okay, remember I said variables in our previous session. I said variables are containers that store what? Data. So I may come up with a unique variable name. I may call it mark. Okay, maybe I just call it M. The choice is yours. Okay, so variables, you can call them anything that you want, and then we shall say as. Okay, now as what? Now since they are marks, we shall make them what? The integer data type. Okay, then we need to say again dim. Now we are grading. For grading, they are exactly, they are what? Strings, character strings, isn't it? So we shall say as string, the ABC. Now we need to assign these variables. Now first of all, I'll assign mark, the mark variable, which is equal to, now where we are going to have our results being placed already. This is the text box. Which type of text box? This is text box 1. Okay, so we go back, we call this val, open brackets, text box 1 dot text, close brackets, go to the next line. Now we are done with covering 1, that is here. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to write down our if statement. Okay, we are going to write down our if statement, and then we grade our students. Now what we want, when you press here the marks, it should display for us the grade. Okay, so let us write down our if statement. So we shall say if. Okay, so we shall say if mark, if at all mark is greater than or equal to what? To 80. Then now here we are going to assign our what? Variable grade, that person with the A. Okay, yeah, then shall have another one here, so we shall say else if. Okay, else if mark greater than or equal to 70 and mark is less than 80, then grade is equal to B. Okay, now let us copy this and then we paste. We need to paste this. Yeah, that will be CD. Yeah, so we shall change this to yeah, 60. Then this one will change to 70. Then this one will change to 50. And then this one 60. Now here, why it is written like this is simply because if you look at the grading here, if you have score 670 and above or equal to 70, it will be graded as B. Now here when we say and mark is less than 80, what we mean is that it is the grading B is not going to exceed 79%. Okay, so it should stop on 79. As soon as it reaches 80, that is what? Grade A. The same scenario happens here. Okay, else mark 60 and mark 70. So the grading, of course, we want it to have what? C. So if it reaches 69, it should stop on C. So the same scenario here, this one will be D. I think we shall stop from here, but I want to add one more. So the last one will be else. So for it, I'll call it else. Okay, else. Then we shall say grade. Okay, else grade is F. Now here, if anyone scores below 50, that is an F. Okay, yeah. Now we are going to attach a message box, so we shall say message box dot show. Also message box dot show. So then we shall say you, not you, I'll say your grade is space, then shall say and grade. Yeah, save that. So let us run. We try to see whether it is working. Now let us place here 67. So it's saying your grade is what? Is C. Okay. So if I put here 90, of course saying grade is what? Is A. If I place there 40, your grade is what? Is F. So below 50 it is F, according to how we have set our system. If I put here 50, it's supposed to bring a D. Okay. So this is how you run if statements in grading students what? Marks. Okay. Yeah, so I hope that is clear. So I'm proceeding. Now for if statements we also have what we call the select case. Now the select case, of course, it is similar to the if statement, but for it is also a conditional what? Statement. Okay. Now this one I think we shall call it instead of if statements, let us say select statement. Okay, so for the select statement, now here maybe the only new thing I want to do or change is I want to copy this, then I paste it down here. So then we shall also have another label. Okay, now this one I think I want to call it grade. Okay, I want to call it grade. Yeah, so we have our grade there. Now of course I think let me change the button now to calculate. Let me just say cal to mean calculate. Okay, yeah, I think that is better. Okay, yeah, so let us now double click and then we make the changes that are needed. Now maybe before you proceed, this is text box 1, this is text box, I believe it text box 2. Yes, text box 2. Okay, now we are going to get rid of this. I hope you have written this down. So we are going to use the select case, and this time around I think I'm going to just remove this dim mark as. Let me change the data type to, let's say, because we have different data types, let me change it to single. So for the value, I think let me remove your value, move this text box, then we have let us remove this. Yeah, I think this is enough. Now for the select case, we shall now say select case. Now we mention the name of our variable, which is mark. Okay. Then we shall say case. Okay. Now this time is the opposite. We shall start from the least to the highest. So we shall say 0 to 49. Now here you have to negotiate with the text box 2. Okay, text box 2 dot text is equal to, okay, let me call this F. This is yellow mark. Okay, now here text box 2 is right here. This text box here, the grade will appear. That's why we are labeling it as text box 2. Now I'm going to just copy this to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 times. So I'm going to copy this 4 times. So I'll go down. 2, 3, 4. Then finally I will say case else text box 2 dot text is equal to error please re-enter the mark. And I think that does it. Okay, not yet. We have to change the grading here. So this is 50. So we shall say 50 to 59. The grading, let's make it D. Then 60 to 69. Then we have 70 to 79. Then we have now 80 to 100. C, B, then finally we have A. So I'll save that and then run. So even if I place here 60, calculate, it will place what is C. If we put a number bigger than the expected number, error, please re-enter the what? The mark. Okay, so you find systems working like this, and of course they work through programming. Okay, you have to set it and then to work as expected. 70, I think a B, yes. Okay, so basically now for negatives, of course it's going to throw for you an error. Why? This has never seen a, you didn't set it in form of negatives. Okay, yeah, so that is how you can use the select case as well to grade the students' work. Now we also have what we call loops, looping. Okay, looping. Now loops are repetitive statements and we need to know how they work. Okay, so what I need maybe for now, I won't just need this button. This one is enough for me. So what I'm going to do, since you're looking at loops, we call this we have types of loops, by the way. Okay, we have loops, we have types of loops. Maybe I'll mention them through the buttons here. So the very first one, I'll call it the for loop. Okay, the for loop. Now we need to run its code. So what we shall do, I'll get rid of this. This is now useless on my side. I don't need it anymore. Okay, yeah. So we shall first declare a variable dim. You may say I as, you may say as what? Integer. Use a data type that you would want. It's your choice for numeric data types. Then we shall say for I. Okay, for I is equal to 0 to 10. Then we shall finally say message box dot show. So we'll put or place our variable. Now message box. Now this is not enough. Yeah, okay, it's enough. Yes. It's enough. So the for loop, we run it. So for it, what it does when you run it, displays from 0. Okay, it's going to count up to 10. Okay, remember if you look at our, you see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. As soon as it clocks 10, it will what? To close. Okay, to close. Now this statement is very important. Never, never and ever leave out the message box dot show. Why? It will close, it will make your system freeze. Okay, if you don't include this one there. So remember I said these are repetitive what? Statements. Now we need to have the other loops. We need to know how other loops work. So I'm going to just copy this. Okay, so I think I'm going to name the rest. Let me call this one the do while. So we have the do while loop. Okay, then we have the do loop. Okay, so a do while loop, when I double click, we have to input in its what? Its data. So we shall do the same thing, but we shall change the variable that we have declared. So I'll just copy this. Let me go back. I confirm where I'm supposed to be. Yes, copy that. Then I'll change this to, let me change it to another variable. Let me call it x, and then the numerical, let me change it to 1. And I'll say do while. Okay, then you open brackets. So you mention your x is less than what? 10. Message box dot show x, so it will be x is equal to x plus 1. We are done. So we have the do while loop. We need to know how it works. So by the time it clocks to 9, it's supposed to stop running. Click that. Okay, now this one, remember x is less than what? 10, so it will be like stopping on 9. Okay, then finally we have the do loop. Now for the do loop, this is how it operates. I'll double click on it. You need to carry on. Okay, now I'm going to have the same content here, but I'm going to change a lot of stuff. Okay, so I'll just copy this, paste that. Now change the variable name to y. Okay, then I'll change this to y as well. Then the x, all the x's will be represented with the y. We can't have same variable names in one in the same area of the loops. Okay, so this is the do loop, but it's called the do until. Okay, so this one we shall say equals, and then message box dot y. Now here, when you run this, okay, you click here up to 9. Yeah, so that's the do until loop. Okay, so here it will add from 1 until when it reaches 9 plus 1, where it says 10, it will stop from there. Okay, so that is how for it will work. Now maybe before, because we need to be winding up and there's still a lot to cover. Okay, but nevertheless we are going to finish this today. Okay, we are going to finish this today. So let us look at now what we call the combo box. The combo box, how to use the combo what? The combo box. Okay, yeah, so I know there are some tools we haven't used, but I believe this is one of them. Combo box. Okay, yeah, now what we are going to do with the combo box here, I think I'll get rid of these buttons. You don't need them anymore. This one will be here. The item will remain there. This one will just, I'll leave them just here for now. We need to get that combo box. Where is it? Go to C, combo box. So have it here. This one will go down here. Combo box is here. Yeah, so maybe I'll change the name of this button to add items. I believe you remember the list box, isn't it? The list box whereby you're also adding items. Yeah, now for the combo box we are going to do the same thing. Okay, now for it is something very simple. We have it here, because if you run it, I think let me first get rid of this code that is here. Now you shall have errors. First move this, move that, move this, save that. So of course if you run this, this is what is going to happen. Apparently there's nothing in the list. If you type there some information and then you'll come and check, nothing is being added. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to make sure when we press this here, this button, it adds information in this list here. Okay, yeah, so that's what we are going to do. So basically double click the button, add items, it takes us down there. Okay, now type, remember this is combo box 1, so we shall say combo box 1. Okay, dot what, dot items, dot add. Okay, now we need to know the name of our text box. Okay, now to confirm the name of our text box here, we have to check here. This is text box 2, so shall say, shall select text box 2. Hope you know why we are selecting text box 2, not text box 1. Okay, yeah, so basically that is it. That's how you can add items. Let's run and we confirm whether it's working. So right now there's nothing. If I type the word hello and then I click add items, you go and check, it's now there. Okay, when I say word yes and I click add items, I click this, we shall have this, we shall have options to select from. Okay, yeah, so that's how the combo box works. Then we have the checkbox and radio buttons. Checkbox and radio what? And radio buttons. So what we are going to do for the checkbox, I think since the combo box is done, and even this one I don't need it anymore. Yeah, now for these ones I think I'll need them since you're looking at something else. So I've said we are looking at checkbox and radio buttons. Checkbox and radio buttons, checkbox and radio buttons. Okay, so what we are going to do, I think let me place this one here. Let us get the, where is that list? It's called there's the list we are supposed to use, forgotten its name. Okay, in the meantime as I'm looking for it, let's just get the checkbox. So I have 3, but I need only 2 for now. Yeah, so checkbox Let me put here something. Okay, so you want to make the change of the name of the button to show age. Okay, then I think we don't need this anymore. Delete grade. Yeah, so we need to just have this checkbox. Now we're going to rename this to, let's say, under 18. Then we also have above 18. Now there's something I'm looking for. I'm not seeing it. Checklist box. Was it that one? Menu strip, no. Seems like I've lost track of the tool. List view. List box. So I think seems like I've lost track of it. No, I've seen it. It's called a group box. Okay, group box, it helps to let me stretch it a bit. So let's just say we have our checkbox here. Then this one will show age. Now, of course, if you run this is not going to be enough, but let us first try to rename this checkbox 1. You may call it age. Okay. Now, for the checkbox, if you run, okay, now I think I know why there are errors. Errors are here. I remove the combo box. Now if you just run this and try to check, now for the checkbox you can check both. Okay, right now this one is not working, but we want it to show something, isn't it? So what you are going to do, let's go back to our screen and then work on the code. Yeah, so I'm going to double click here. Then again we are going to use an if statement. So we shall say if checkbox 1 dot checked then message box dot show age is under 18. And now I think I want to just copy this because there are 2 checkboxes. Now for this one I shall say checkbox 2, then this is above 18. Okay, so expected to display message boxes. Going to run this, check age is under 18, age is above 18. I've checked both, age is under 18, age is above 18. Okay, so if put in this sort of perspective, it will run properly without having any issues. Okay, I think we need to look at radio buttons. Yeah, we have what we call radio buttons, and I think we copy this, paste this one down here. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the so we are going to get two radio buttons. We need to have the button here. This one for it, let's call it gender. So we call this gender. Box 2. Okay, so I will now have frozen for a while. Okay, so maybe I'll call this one gender, and then this could be male and female. Okay, but I'm going to leave it like that. So when you run your command, you save it and run, you'll see the difference between the checkbox and the radio button. Here, radio button, you cannot select both. You have to select one of them. Sometimes you can select all, as you have seen. Okay, so yeah, I think we need to look at something else, and that is what we call images. Images. Okay, so get your radio button. Images. So for images, inserting them, you need to have a clean interface. So I'm moving all of this. Then I go back in the code. I want to remove it as well. For images to be put in the project, you have to go to project itself, select working with controls property. Yeah, so when it brings this, you go to resources. Yeah, you go to resources, and then we need to attach our images. So I'll go back here, desktop. Okay, so I'm going to grab this. Let me grab this instead. This. Okay, so now we have 7 images. 7 images are here. Okay, so what we have to do, if we go back to the properties, Explorer, and see the images are there. Okay, so save that, and then we go and look for our picture box. Okay, so what I'm going to do, go back to our images here, and then we get the picture box. Try to draw it here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do now, to insert the image, look for image here, for that icon. So then you can select the one that you want. Then you press OK. Now when you press OK, we need to reduce the size. Okay, so size, look for size mode. Let me look for stretch image. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, then we have this one. This is our first one. Now adding a button that takes you to the next image. This one I'm only going to use one example. You'll have to understand the rest from there. Where is the button? In class I shared all ways of buttons that are there. Okay, so those who are in class know what to do. If you know what to do, inquire from your colleagues. So this is image 2. So it takes you to the next button of what? Image. Now I'm going to stop on this one. So I'm going to double click. So we shall say, anyway, I'll mention 3 of them. Picture box 1 dot image is equal to my dot resources dot. Now here we can select another image. Yeah, then you close. So when you close, you run back, you run your image. So when I click this, okay, so it takes us to another image. As you can see, it takes us to image 2. Now I want you to make controllers whereby you have controller for image 3, image 4, and they're taking you to the next images. Okay, you have to do that. Yeah, now for the rest of the other videos, I'm sorry, but I'm going to stop from here. For those who missed, because it's a bit exhausting and I decided to send the videos. Now the remaining clips that I have not sent, let members who are not in class do research. Okay, give them a hand, because I've not talked about the progress bar. I thought I would talk about it, but I've totally failed. Why? It's really tiresome to repeat a lecture yet you are in class. Okay, so strive very hard, learn about the exit button, those who are not there, progress bar and timer, how it works, and then also how to log in, creating a user interface, and even the password character using the if statement, and also how to secretly hide your password as well. So that is where we ended, and I'll beg to stop from here. Thank you.